Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Stygian Reign of the Old Ones. So I had a small rest and let's continue with our quest line. The Stabber. Is it Stabber? Yep. And we will talk with Detective Wilkins at the old Ill House. Yeah, that's a guy. The bulky man with a missing arm is occupying one of the grimy tables of the old Ill. It appears he is struggling to drink his troubles away, but the pain written on his face tells a different story. He seizes his agonizing for a short while to glance over at you. I have no plans to share the table, pal. Find yourself another sport to collapse, alright? Are you Detective Wilkins? Well done, you found me. You must be a detective too. He exhales deeply with a pained look on his face. What do you want from me? I'm also investigating the Arkham Stabber, or... yeah, let's do that. You're asking me the last thing I want to remember in this world? I lost my fucking arm over that psycho murderer. Couch at you while struggling to open his whiskey bottle or one-handed. Get lost. For the bottle for him. What would change your mind? Yeah, that's humanistic, I think. Yep. Do I fucking look like I want to discuss this? He looks at what remains of his severed limb. Do you know how this feels? The pain you can cope with if you're lucky, but the itching, the damn itching never relents. That's the real hell. Have you ever tried the itching part of you that ain't there anymore? No, but I understand how you feel. Unless one of your arms is a very nicely made fake, you don't understand a damn thing. So don't bother to play Mr. Sympathy with me. It won't bring back my fucking arm. Maybe I can help with your condition. What can you do? I've heard people calling this phantom pain. How can you heal a non-existent arm? The pain is in your mind. If we can somehow deceive your senses about your missing arm, the pain will cease. You sound like a doctor now. Do you think you can stop the pain and the itching, or more precisely, the pain of not being able to itch something that isn't there? Hopeless. Maybe I can find something to help you at the drugstore. Think that Snake can help me? Turns to Marino. Marino, get me another one. Che pale. You being a cripple doesn't make me a fucking waiter, Wilkins. Get your ass over here if you want more poison. You found a way to make the pain go, or are you just stalling me off? Take out the mirror fragment. You set the mirror fragment on the table and adjust it to display a symmetrical reflection of Wilkins' intact arm. You can see from his face that the persistent tension that's been bothering him is already fading. Give him some time to get himself together. That feels much better. The itching is gone. How strange that the brain can be deceived with such a simple trick. Thanks, sir. Much appreciated. Now let's talk about the Arkham Stabber. Out a deep breath. So you want to know about the Stabber? Your choice. You still got 4 limbs after all. When I was on the case, the Stabber was targeting mob's members. Naturally, this got the attention of Waxface. If you kill the king's men, the king comes after you, right? Stabber was a threat to his authority, somebody pissing in his backyard. His men hired me to find the killer. Start with the victims. What were their names? Salvador and Abel, no one important, clueless, fresh recruits for the mob, that's all. Then I looked into how they were killed, and that proved interesting indeed. The wounds all pointed to one thing, a sword, and the big one, with a broad blade. Pierced those fellows dozens of times, until they were human colanders. I've seen a lot in this profession, but that was ferocious. I remember those names, that's interesting. Wilkins lights a cigarette. Finally, we may have found the pattern. So these 3 came to the hotel together. The next question is, are they all dead? As far as I know, no, there is another one called Keelan. Was also, okay, we'll take one. Then we can assume the murders won't stop until this Keelan fellow gets a few more breathing holes, unless he himself is a stabber. What makes you think that? Think about it. Riffraff arriving from out of town, probably into some shady business, and when the deed is done, they turn on each other like rabid dogs. I've seen it happen before. Whatever the truth is, you should keep an eye out for this Killan fellow. He may be the key to all this. Will do. What else have you got on the case? You know, I have to admit that you are not too bad at this. When you started asking questions, I wasn't expecting much, and that's why I kept my trap shut on my real leads. No offense, but I prefer not to point my finger at suspects, especially after seeing how brutal the mob can be. No, this is a bad habit. Work ethics can cost you an arm in this place. Are you going to tell me how you lost your arm? You really like to play detective, don't you? I was like you once, intrigued by the motivations of the people, curious about how they think they behave. A black shadow falls over his eyes. But there are some things you shouldn't be curious about, and some people, Wilkins takes a deep drag from his cig. As I mentioned, after some time on the case I had a few strong suspects. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't hold the facts together to make a concrete accusation. I didn't have enough evidence, and the detective's curse was all over me. Indecisiveness. Some time later I was summoned to the court of Walksfate. He looks around before continuing in a whisper. Seeing that fucker in person almost gave me a heart attack. He asked me the identity of the stabber. What did you tell him? In the end I didn't give him a name. Instead I gathered my courage to ask for more time. I guaranteed I would find the killer soon. He seemed to be listening at first and asked me one thing in the end. One fucking question, right or left? I didn't get it. I was too nervous, so the cold-blooded bastard continued, his flat motionless face, beastly eyes. Something was plainly wrong. Evil, you hear me? Said. I'll show you how simple it is to make a decision. Your right arm or your left. Remind me not to be indecisive again when it came to his requests. I had to choose fast or I would lose both. So I chose. Fuck this case and fuck the day I became a bloody detective. I'm sorry, Wiggles, you did the right thing. Right. And it all cost me was my right arm. Nuts. Now tell me about this aspect of yours. I had 3 good trails, but they all went cold. My first suspect was a red skin called Jatal. The other one was a magician called Horatio, and lastly I had a witness, a mute girl. The name of this Jatal. He's the crazy Indian who believes he's continuing the ways of his ancestors. Formed his own tribe in Dead Willows after everything went to hell, a shanty town of stinking tents. Jatal is a son of a bitch, excuse my language, too eager to use his machete on anyone he defines as a white oppressor, especially mob people. Motive? Check. Potential murder weapon? Check. I'd pay him a visit if I were you, but you've been warned, mister. He's awfully protective about his territory. He prefers to let that machete do the talking. Where is Dead Willows? Draws a circle on your map. It used to be a resort area along the Miskatonic River, full of white willow trees. Fancy place. You don't need to be a detective to guess why it's called Dead Willows these days. Tell me about Horatio. Horatio the Magnificent, they used to call him. I saw nothing magnificent about the man though. A total wreck. He was pretty vocal about his hate for Waxface. Suicidal, right? Horatio had all the motive to go after some mobster blood. And I know he uses old-fashioned swords in his shows, you know, the coffin and the blades and nonsense like that. Where can I find him? The last time I saw him he was staying in room 203 of the Essex Hotel. Considering his suicidal tendencies, might be a good idea to get your ass over there in a hurry. Who's the mute girl you mentioned? Donna the Mute is what the other tunnel kids call her. She wasn't always mute, so I heard. They say she became like that after witnessing the murder of Abel. The eyes on that little girl. Looking at the same dreadful moment no one else could see. I tried everything but could never get her to talk. Where can I find this kid? If you think you can do better, be my guest. She lives with the other orphans in the collapsed train tunnel in the northeast pass of French Hill. So, we've got a lot of leads. 203. I'm pretty sure I went there. Oh, he's the guy who wouldn't let me in. The frightened guy. So let's go in the Essex Hotel. We're more than halfway through our next level. Can I talk to him? Second floor. (203). Knock on the door. I just need a few questions answered. Questions about what? The Arkham Stabber. I'm investigating the Stabber case, about several murders happening in town. What does this have to do with me? The man takes a deep sobbing breath before continuing. You listen to me, there is a ruthless killer in this town, yes. As he's worse than that, he's the king of all of Arkham's murderers. You know who I'm speaking of, that black-hearted walks-faced son of a bitch. Now go ahead and point the finger on me. I don't care who hears me say it, he's a son of a bitch. I won't do anything like that, I'm not acquainted with the mob at all. Then please leave, sir. His voice throbs with pure boiling hatred. Considering the things I'm planning to do, even talking to me might cost you your neck. I'm willing to take that chance. I see, maybe we can help each other. First, prove to me that you're not with a mob. I didn't break the door down and kill you. The room goes silent for a few seconds, then the lock clicks and the door yawns open. Was it a hard choice? Can we search? This dusty corner is cluttered with the depressed illusionist quirky paraphernalia, gigags and grim crackery. There's deck of marked cards. Yeah, let's take it. You may get inside Horatio's cage and try to escape by yourself, testing your escaped artist skills. An arduous struggle that took hours, you are finally free. Perk gain escape artist. Aha. What's that perk about? Aggression escapes can be made more easy. Nice. You see a devastated looking man in a wrinkled stained stage costume. This must be the magnificent Horatio, or what's left of him. You're really not going to kill me, right? Not unless you try to kill me first. Nope. Alright, ask your oh so important questions. What do you know about the Arkham Stabber? I've heard that some folks were being stabbed. I've barely left this gloomy chamber for a long time. Weeks. Or is it months? Even the time is damned in this place. Dusk was always the most melancholic time of the day for me. Now I'm trapped forever in this moment of eternal dusk. All alone with my memories of her, on a bright day some memories can warm your heart. On days like this they pierce you like ice, remind you of what has been lost forever. Sorry, I know the feeling. Horatio silently stares at the wall. It seems your words aren't reaching him. Did you hear about the young man who was killed on this street a while ago? Did you hear about the lovely young lady who was killed at the hands of that tyrant? Look, pal, we each have our own wounds in his wretched town. What lady? She was my assistant, not just my assistant. Violet was everything I had. What happened to her? She was... I don't suppose you came here to ask about Violet. Forget about your questions, leave me be. What's your grudge against Waxface? Took what is dearest from me and I plan to do exactly the same. And if I can't find something that monster holds dear, which would be of no surprise to me at all, then I will take the wretched life from his fat carcass. I heard you have a sword or swords. So what? Do you think my stage swords are like the meat cleavers the mob uses to behead people? I'm a magician, for God's sake. Cast his eyes down. I mean, I used to be the one of the best. Haven't you heard? Magnificent Horatio has come to town. I think I saw one of your flyers. Is that supposed to make me feel better? He smiles bitterly. Look at my magnificence now. We miss any... I... get anything out of him? Investigate Horacio's room. So I shouldn't do that? From the room window, the lifeless body of Julian, the stabber's last victim, is still visible. Although Horatius claims he is unaware of the young man's death, his certain view contradicts with the man's accounts. Your window directly overlooks the crime scene and you say you never left the room, yet you saw nothing? I was sleeping. Horatio, this is serious. More people will die. Didn't see anything. I was... Alright, I saw it. I saw how they ripped that young man to pieces. Why would you hide this information? Because they were strong and merciless and they knew how to kill. They are ruthless as that master walks face. Wait, there's more. You want to know something, huh? When the shadows were done with that man, I stormed down the stairs to catch them. I shouted after them, but they never even turned to look at me. And I swear they flew away through the air. What were they exactly? How should I know? I've been ridiculed for these kinds of things all my life. Spirits of some kind? But I could feel the hatred oozing out of them. It was like mine, maybe even stronger. You went after them? Only because I wanted them to kill Walksface. I would give anything to make him suffer like I did. My life, my soul, anything. Or I shall calm down. I know it seems unbearable, but this is simply a natural reaction when coping with grief. Your word partially assuages the man's troubled mind. Anything. Did you see where the shadows went? I might have. You asked me for the truth and I told it. You took a chance on my retribution or some kind of repayment is only fair. You know what I'm planning to do and you're going to help me. That is if you want to know where that house of shadows is. What do you have in mind? All I need is for you to find an unguarded entrance to the Blackened Club. I'll take care of the rest. So, you're the persistent type, aren't you? I used to be the same before all this. Violet, she never wanted that show, not one bit. A private show for the unseen Imperatore himself. Who would want that? But I told him. He was the only authority in this chaos after all. I thought if he liked the show, he would protect us. Foolish, wasn't it? Hey, everyone is scared in this place. You acted to secure yourself and Violet. Oh, I acted like a moron. I persuaded her. So we found ourselves there in the end. Straight into the casino lounge. Spent hours preparing the stage. I wanted that show to be perfect. I want to make an impression. When we were finally ready and nervous as hell, he came. Surrounded by his made men who were like flies buzzing around rotten meat. We weren't allowed to look at him directly, but I could see his huge silhouette out of the corner of my eye. We started the performance and the first few drinks went well. I couldn't see the man's face, and that made men seem uninterested, but I can tell when there's a spark in their eyes of the audience. Then the time came for the blade box act. You've heard of the trick, right? The lady gets inside a prop coffin and the magician stabs it through with swords. Then the lady comes out just fine and you never know how. In reality, the entire points of the swords are all precisely calculated. Sure, I've heard about it. We were in the middle of the act and Violet was inside the box. When I was about to insert the third sword, I noticed something moving from the corner of my eye. Waxface had actually stood up and was moving towards me. I could hear his heavy footsteps without even turning my head. I was trembling when he finally asked me if he could give it a try. Before I knew what was happening, his brutes grabbed the sword from my hands and grappled me. They forced me to keep my head down. I think I've heard enough. So... What is it still? Okay, so what happened to Blackened Club? I haven't accepted. I'll take care of the rest. Alright, I'll do my best. Good, the master's lair is called the Blackened Club. It stands in French Hill. Just find a way in and return to me. French Hill. Other side. Well, we will check if it is doable what I want to do. And for Rachel, inform him about the tunnel below the clubhouse. So yeah, let's inform him. Maybe he can come with us and replace the other guy. Although I doubt we will kill Waxface here. So I know if I go near them from now on, they will attack me. Pretty sure I don't have... Can craft these. Go 3 right. Did you find the way into that den of debauchery? I did. Finally, tell me all about it. Tell me about the underground entrance. Then into the Dragon's Den I go. I owe you, sir. Now let me think about the places I passed while following the shadows. After some arduous calculations, you have finally have a potential lead on the location of the murderers. I have to warn you, it's not a good idea to go there alone. Goliath, I'm coming for you. David is coming to slay you. Are you even armed? Maybe I would like to see his fate. Pretty sure he's gonna die. The house of Specter. I marked this house on my map. It's finally time to confront them. Okay, so I think it's outside the town. Wish I had the shotgun shells, but I'm afraid they're going to be a really hard fight. Has anything I can get? Got shotgun shells. Yeah, he does not have them. Can I sell anything that I don't need? Ammunition, 38. Well, anyway, let's go. House of Specters. On your travels, you pass through an area filled with nerve mushrooms. The ugly growths sprout from every crevice like cancerous tumors. An abysmal odor assaults your nose. Followed by symptoms of vertigo, it's too late to turn back. Soak a rag in alcohol and breathe through its survival. This quick measure is partially successful, but the mushroom's toxic spores still take their toll. Your lungs burn in your chest. Keep going, I guess. And a red-haired sweaty man is running towards you in terror. Puts you in a seemingly miserable state of being. From the look of his clothes, he may be a sailor or perhaps an immigrant. Their blood is on my hands now. I pushed them into this. What are you talking about? Who are you? How could I have known? Seemed to be an old fellow, he did. I said he'd never have time to spend all that gold, but it could change everything for us, for myself and my pals. You must be Keelan. I am and I know ye. So you're wandering around looking for me. You're the only one who cares. You have to help me. Been born about the gold. We've got it from from his house in Kingsport. I could have known. You've got to believe me, no other choice I've had. Your pals? The Boston Rejects, we called ourselves. Found each other having some hard time, we did. No work, no money. Bellies empty, no chance to return to what we left behind. We were slowly dying, sir. We ain't no thugs, no never. We tried everything, sir, and everything failed us. This country was eating us piece by piece. Where is the gold now? The gold is gone. We sold it all before we arrived here to Salvador's cousin somewhere near Innsmouth. He's not hunting us for the gold. He wants us. He wants our souls. Kingsport, I wish I had known. The legend is true. Total superstition. Oh, these are the shadows? Crap. And there goes my sanity. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take a hit. So, they're horrified. They seem to have a high initiative, which is really bad. So everyone is going against Killan. Maybe that gives us a window to kill them, perhaps? Oh crap. Go the other way. So we cannot. Can I hit them with melee weapons? No. They seem to be doing a lot of damage. This one alone will talk to him. So the only thing we got was 20 angst. Pretty horrible. Atlas body of Killan. So, learn more about the history and folklore of Kingsport. I should see if I can learn something about Kingsport folklore, either in print or from somewhere around town. So I guess I should go to the town and try to... Sound disturbs you from the short nap you've been taking on your journey, calling you up from the depths of lightless dreams. Similar mechanical sounds follow. Remain still and try to figure out the origin of the sounds. A few seconds later, the answer flashes in your mind. The sound of clicks and sliding metal is unmistakable. Someone's assembling a firearm. Open your eyes and look for the source of the sounds. You see the nameless soldier sitting on the ground a few feet away. He is busy assembling his trusty M1913 Weatherfield. As you watch his automatic motions, it seems something is off. When he shakily turns the gun and puts his barrel beneath his chin, you understand the reason behind your peculiar feeling. Things appear to be escalating rapidly. That's not a good idea. He shifts his finger to the trigger. God forgive me, but I cannot keep on. He suddenly shouts in a haunting tone. I'm drained, can't even feel fear. I used to be scared of things, of death, of failure, of never seeing my loved ones. I used to be alive, do you see? And if I can't even feel fear, then I must already be dead, so please do not judge me. Hopelessness invades his last words, which come out in a whisper, because I tried. Only a failure would attempt to do that, not a real soldier. The pale man turns to you ferociously. You are teaching me how to be a soldier now, Williams? And who gave you the fucking right to come here? You're almost howling now. Leave me alone. You saved my life a couple of times now. I owe you this. He casts his eyes down. I tried, Williams. I tried. I have a shadow inside me. The shadow is also me, and it eats all my hopes. And now nothing is left. Nothing. I had my share of terrible days. Tell him about the Derby Street case. Come on, soldier. Don't do something you'll regret. Drop the gun. Yeah, let's do the first. The soldier sits through your story with a face completely devoid of expression. When he finally speaks, you are unsure if he heard anything you said. It's time for my guard duty. He snivels and shakes himself. And he continues with a shy smile, an exceptionally rare side of his grey face. Thanks, Williams, and you're not that much of an asshole, just a little bit. Again he returns to staring into oblivion. So, I think we will wrap it up in this episode. Not much combat. Well, not combat at all. But we've made some progress, and in the next episode we will investigate the folklore and then go to the House of Specters. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.